There we go. Hello everyone, welcome to the DigitalEccentric channel. Sorry for the technical difficulties over the past couple of minutes. Twitch and my computer don't get on as well as I'd like, but there you go. So yes, welcome to episode 3 of my Survivor series. This is a series of videos and streams I'm doing to play around with the Survivor mode in Space Engineers, which is a sandbox creation game by a company called Keen Software House, set in space. If you want to know more about it, there's plenty of resources online. You can also check out the first couple of episodes and other videos I've done on my channel. So yeah, quick recap of where I am. I've sort of set up shop in this asteroid here. It's one of, I believe, 7 asteroids that my world currently has because of what I spawned in. I plonked down a basic platform. So this platform here is a station platform and it follows the station rules. And I'm basically just using it to help me build my first small ship, which I'm going to use to help me mine better because, as you may have seen through previous episodes, mining by hand is quite a laborious process. So I need something like this to help me. Fortunately, I was slightly mistaken. Those of you who watched my previous episode, I said that the refinery should keep going whilst I was logged off. I realised that was a mistake. That only happens if your game is set to being online, so your game connects to the internet. My game is set to offline, so there's no way to communicate with any server in real time or anything like that. So I've got a lot of resources waiting to be refined, and they're probably going to take a while. So I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to get done in this show, but we shall see. So what have I got on me? Hand drill, and the mine, and the welder, plenty of iron. Right, what do I need to plonk down? A cockpit. I should probably get a cockpit down. Starting to figure out, I mean, as you may have seen, I haven't quite gotten the handle of the construction process. Sort of, I've never played around with it much in, well, there's only been creative mode, so the actual genuine construction process is brand new, so still fiddling around with it. I've come to realise that, so you see on the bottom right here, you've got a list of components I need in order to fully build this cockpit. But obviously I can't just even though I can place things down as a chassis and then fill in the blanks later, it looks like you have to at least have the bottom layer of components in your inventory to actually place down that bare bones chassis. So in the cockpit's case, I need 10 interior plates. In these small blocks case here, I simply need steel plates to put them down. Other components need like basic construction components and so on. Let's just create us some steel plates, interior plates, shall we? So production. Two component. I see a lot of these require. What else do I need? Construction components, 20 of those I can build. I need 2 motors, which I can build already. I need 100 computers, bloody hell, and 10 displays. So let's see what I need to build those. For the motors, I will get up now. Displays, so I need some silicon. Gold, got plenty of. I need some silicon. And computers, which also need silicon. So basically I need to find a decent source of silicon. So I'll go put that down because I'm not going to need it. Put the wrong way. One mistake. Now I can't actually remember where I saw some silicon. Again, just as another recap, basically, because you can't always see, you can only see what's on the surface, you're going to have to search around using your hand drill, which is equipped with a basic ore detector, to try and find the resources you need. I don't remember where I last saw some silicon. Uranium. Feeling it was over here somewhere actually. Nickel, iron, nickel, cobalt. Ah, silicon. Here we go. Oh, this is silicon. All this here. Right. Fortunately, I'm going to need to. Oh, maybe. Let's see if the gravity's actually on. Those of you who haven't watched any of these episodes before, basically mining can be a bit precarious if you don't have a source of gravity, basically keeping the rocks pinned to the floor, otherwise they go flying everywhere. It's very annoying. On. This similar on as well. No, this similar isn't on. Refinery's on. Let's help. They're on, so build what you need. So silicon. Gotta get me some of that. Maybe this isn't silicon, this might just be rock. What are they? They do look like stone. Ah, it is silicon ore. Sweet, it's nice to have something on the surface. I don't have to go digging. Incidentally, if anyone's interested, I talk a bit more about my experience in space engineers so far on the Generally Speaking podcast. It's a podcast I do with a friend of mine called Andy Griffiths, who's editor-in-chief over at gamerzines.com. It's just this new thing we started going because, you know, podcasting is quite fun, and we've always said we wanted to do a podcast, so we finally got our act together and did a podcast. It's very rough around our edges, right? Very rough around the edges right now. We're still kind of pro amateurs at this, I guess. So be kind. But yeah, we talk about. I talk about space engineers, and I've been introducing Andy to some other games as well. We'll also talk about the recent acquisition by Facebook of the Oculus VR tech, which was a bit random. There you go. Strange things do happen. Wish there was a way to increase. Well, there is a way when you load up a world, you can set the kind of efficiency values of some of the basic sort of modules like the refinery and the assembler, stuff like that. You can make the refinery more efficient and quick, and you can make the assembler require less components to make what it needs to make and stuff like that. It's called the realism settings, but I would actually appreciate something that you could do in-game to increase the efficiency of the refinery. Because the way power output works, you can't just direct more power to it. It will always use the maximum amount of power. And instead, power management is down to how many things you have going at once off the same reactor, and how long the uranium stores in that reactor can last going on power consumption, stuff like that. So really the refineries, unless I set the realism settings to be kinder to me before I loaded the game, the refinery will work as well as it's going to work. I suppose I could build another refinery. I don't really want to waste too much time on that right now. So there's a very good kind of spot that I've set myself up in. The last sort of survival game I was trying out just on my own, kind of went a bit Pete Tong really quickly because, well, there wasn't any uranium near me and my ship ran out of power, so I couldn't even refine anything. That was awkward. Because I've learnt, because the refinery seems to be taking a while for anything other than iron ore, I won't overload it with too much silicon at the moment, so I'll just pick up this stuff and then I'll try and move on to other things. Incidentally, there's an update for Space Engineers due today. The developers teased what it was going to be, but I can't hazard any guesses myself. So it'll be interesting to see what new functionality will be added to the game. You'll probably see that on the next episode, next Survivor Series episode. Apologise if the stream is a bit laggy. I've put the rendering settings back up to high because the textures on normal were really muddy and naff, to be honest. A bit ugly to look at. But I've also lowered the stream quality as well, so I'm only streaming in 616p or something like that. I don't know, it's not quite 720, it's just the one below that. My OBS program allows me to do that. Just different, I suppose, but there you go. Right, I'm going to produce some more steel plates whilst I'm here as well. Some more gold at some point, I think. finish off the last of the gold ore stone because. Might try changing the background at some point. Steam Workshop's quite active with regard to Space Engineers, even though it's still in alpha. I mean, with only the creative mode up until now, obviously, with only the creative mode really available in the game, there's been nothing for people to do but to share their creations. It's a bit like when Minecraft first died out and people were sharing their Enterprise 1-to-1 scale recreations and ridiculous stuff like that. But some people have also managed to edit the kind of game files to give a different static background. So I don't know if you can tell, but so this patch of sky I'm looking at here, it's static. There's no moving objects here. It's just a very pretty picture, and so you can contrast that with, if you look to where my mouse cursor is pointing at, that is a generated asteroid within the game world. So that's something I can travel to, you know, once I get my ship together and stuff like that. So I can travel to that. I can't travel to those. So it would be nice to get something different, maybe something prettier. I wonder how the sunlight works, because in a recent update they added solar panels, which is another way of generating energy, and the way they work is that they basically just have to be in the sunlight, and you know, the more optimum they're placed, the more energy they generate and stuff like that. So the sun, that's obviously an active object as opposed to the static background. It doesn't move, doesn't there's no like sunrise, sunset, because you know, we're not on a spinning planet or any planetary body or anything, so that kind of just stays where it is. The interior plates. I'll take the steel plates with me. This energy suit's on no life already. It's getting a bit annoying. Probably worth pointing out that I'm probably not designing this as efficiently as one could design a spaceship. It's going to be quite blocky. It's probably going to have more kind of armor plate components than it needs, which will affect energy generation and mass and all that. But hey, I need a ship. So I can't bother to faff around with designing at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see how they implement things like blueprints and stuff like that, or you know, a way to maybe perhaps design ships without actually placing down the bare block components or what have you, because at the moment designing ships as you go is quite difficult, because you still need the basic resources to, you know, to put down the basic blocks, even with them half unfinished as they are. So we'll see. We'll see. Sorry about the Skype noises, I normally turn them off. If I tab out now, my game's probably going to crash, so. Marco, if you do happen to be listening to the stream, please stop talking to me. Following on from what I was saying about the stream quality earlier, I do record all my streams locally now as well, which will be uploaded to my YouTube channel after the stream's over. So if you don't really care about chatting to me in real time and the quality's not to your liking, then just wait for the sort of rerun. So there we go, there's the basic chassis of I need the construction components, which are bulletproof glass as well. I don't remember that being a requirement. Fine. Those moment, don't need that. Keep those. Components, place. Two plates I'll keep. Right, bulletproof glass. That. Chicken wafers. Quite easy to do. I'll build myself 30 of them because I foresee an excess. Gravity generating components. Radio communication components. Thruster components. That needs platinum. Platinum, magnesium. So yeah, most of this stuff is covered by iron. Most of the stuff is covered by iron. And nickel and cobalt for motors. Silicon and gold. Silicon and gold covers those. Silver and then gravel, obviously. Because why the hell not? Displays. Be everything, hopefully. The bulletproof glass is the final bit I need. Don't need those anymore either. Oh. That's full. Okay. That's not supposed to happen. No easy way to transfer inventory at the moment, which is annoying. Never mind. So you remember talking in the last episode about thresholds for blocks and components and sort of the minimum threshold required for them to work properly. So as you can see, the cockpit has a much lower threshold than other components. I put it down here. Doesn't take much for the steel plate to become useless, but here, you know, you can go down to, I think that's at 50%. That is. Right, I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can place this drilling arm, which is kind of the whole point. Huh. Strange. I'll go get the steel plates to start putting those. Glass is heavy. Get quite far with just steel plates alone in this. I'm interested to see as the game kind of progresses what other kind of units and components they'll roll out for people to construct, because it's very bare bones at the moment, but you know, you have everything you need for ships, so I don't know whether they'd want to create like alternative components. So these drills can only go in small ships, maybe they'll do a large drill, or maybe they'll do different types of drill, ones that can it's like drill faster but have less storage capacity, or greater storage capacity, or drill slower, or things like that. I think they should really try and get down sort of automated systems a lot better, because it's kind of there is supposed to be some sort of automated transference between kind of various components, so long as you have connections from door to door. But at the moment it's a little bit counterintuitive, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure. What else does the drill need? Small tubes, large steel tubes. Right, okay. Right, so we've run out of silicon, so we need more of that. No, we haven't. Silicon's been. Oh, dear. What's the last bit? Computer components. Feeling I might not have enough large tubes to do this. I'll have to go back for the ones that I just set to build, but don't mind. Oh, there's steel plates at the top as well. Oops. So I need more steel tubes. Another large steel tube. Everything else is good. Sweet. I can see there's certain bits on my ship that are missing as well, but don't really need to worry about them at the moment. Right, so, well, that's the important bit done. So really, now all this ship needs is the kind of basic things it needs to fly. So we'll need a reactor, possibly two small reactors, gyroscope, so it can fly efficiently. I'm not entirely sure what the gyroscope is supposed to do. I remember it was explained in an early tutorial video, but I've turned it off before and ship's kind of flown fine. But it's also going to need thrusters. More importantly, it's going to need thrusters going in all directions as well. And they recently added in, they've recently added in a thing where thrusters actually do damage as well, so I can't just put thrusters in random places and, you know, expect them not to damage each other, because that'd just be silly. So let's see what I need for, so small reactor, put that in case of the drill. So what do I need? I need one construction component. I need metal grids and reactor components. So they're the only two new ones. If I put those down. Put the gyroscope what? Oh, I don't have steel plates. Never mind, but my suit energy is running low, so I'll go take care of that now. Done. I'll grab some steel plates whilst I'm here so I can put down that gyroscope. Then small thrusters is what I'm going to need. Maybe a large one as well. God, look at the top there. So large ship and stations. 960 thruster components, 60 computers, 40 steel tubes, 100 construction components. That's a lot of resources. I don't know actually. I suppose I could just have a large one for forward thrust and then kind of smaller ones for kind of maneuvering thrust. Yeah, okay, I'll put that one there for the moment. Might need to get my grinder out to get rid of some of the superfluous blocks I put down. I think that went down properly. Right, so 9. Oh, I'll put the wrong one down. That would explain that. Large thruster in 7. Oh, almost at the threshold, and 59% as well. So obviously these things are kind of is required more to work, so they need to give them a better damage tolerance or something. So what do I need? Steel tubes and thruster components mainly. Let's see what I can see. Thruster components. Platinum. That's what I'm running out of. I'm probably going to need some more gold at some point as well. Medical components. That is only used in the medical module, so I don't need to worry about that. It's silver. Platinum. Solar cell, explosives and detectors. I don't really need to worry about those, so platinum. Gotta get me some platinum. Oh, I saw some around here somewhere. Magnesium, gold, silver. Oh. Gold. Come on, platinum. Iron. Oh, there's some. Oh, it's typical. There's some silicon right here. Never mind. Gold, platinum, platinum. Was it over here? It might have been over here. Uranium. Ah, platinum, platinum. Here we go. No, oh, lost it. Oh, it's down here. Here. This will do. Relation to everything. Oh. It's not that far then. I think just to find some platinum. So sometimes you wish gravity wasn't there, like now. So I wish these stones would kind of weren't clogging up everything. But then as soon as I find the platinum, it's going to basically be a godsend. So. Seem to hit a vein of iron ore as well. Here's some platinum. Wonder what will happen if I fly out. I'll do. So I'd hate to think what I'd do if I didn't have this ship. There's several pre-start scenarios that the game can land you with. There's the quick starts, which start you with a platform like my station platform, just a lot bigger with all the basic things on it. There's a couple of variations on that. Some have ships, pre-made ships in them, some don't. There's there's a couple of easy starts as well, which have like big and little ships and massive complexes as well, if you want. And oh god, I've lost where I am again, aren't I? Oh no, here we are. And then there is the pre-start where you just start off in an asteroid field with that ship, that rescue ship. And then there's one start. There's one start with a crashed ship in an asteroid as well, so you can grind that down for resources and components, which is a lot more effective than mining, I imagine, but there you go. And there's one where you're just left in empty space, I think. No asteroids around you, no ship, no anything. Not entirely sure what the point of that mode is, but contemplate your own mortality maybe, I don't know. Again, don't want to overload the refinery, so this will probably be enough platinum for my immediate needs, so I'll just give the refinery what I got and then continue with the building. Okay, so we find the platinum rather quickly. Good. Probably find there was actually some of this on the surface and I just wasn't looking. Never mind. So 44 minutes. So I like to try and keep these things under an hour, so I'll give myself another 10 minutes and sort of wrap things up. It's hard to tell whether they've actually gotten much done or not. Hopefully that'll be enough. Right, so I don't need that anymore. Do need my welder. Right, so mainly I need thruster components. So no detecting thruster. Ah, here we go. Platinum. Require much. Okay. Need more gold, more cobalt. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, so one thrusting component. Platinum, cobalt. Probably go mine some more gold, to be honest. good one I was mining. Here, wasn't it? Oh, this is where the nickel was as well. Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember. Okay, so let's try mining. That's good. Them to mainly remain in places where I can easily find them. Doesn't help that I fly around like a derp, but never mind. So hit detection on this hand drill can be a little bit funny sometimes. Something else they can tweak, I suppose. Oh wow, that platinum, I tell you. I might have to consider getting another one up and running. Oh, actually, what I should probably do is try and edit this so that it's online, so that the thing will run whilst I'm asleep. But I'll have to set that in motion, not for next episode, but for the episode after. On. Still the wrong one? I was thinking wrongly of the wrong one. Derp derp. There we go. I mentioned earlier the podcast that I do with Andy Griffiths, and on the last episode we talked about space engineers. I'm pretty sure we talked about space engineers on the past couple of podcasts, because on the episode before the current one, Andy had tried it out for the first time. Never played the game before this, so it's fun teaching him. But sorry, anyway, my point was that I brought up how, I said this last week as well, in the last episode, that I wouldn't mind air being added as sort of a survival element, something that you had to kind of deal with as you played this game. And Andy asked me, how would it be done? It sounded like a bit of a technical challenge, and for all I know, it probably is. I didn't make this game. I don't know what goes into making this game. What I can really experience is the mechanics that are in there. However, I can't help but feel that air could be treated of as a kind of an amalgamation of the way energy works, the way gravity works, and now I think about it, the way sunlight works as well. So essentially you'd have to abstract it to be a module like the gravity generator that simply generates air, and like reactors, it's fueled by a particular mineral that you have to mine and just place in that module's inventory. I don't know what, I'm sure you could find a scientific element that would abstractly justify the creation of air. Like ice. Ice would be used for water. Oh, wrong module again. but you know, water has air inside it, so maybe you could abstractly say that this module processes the ice to get the air molecules out. Don't know. Oh. What's going on there? Sorry, where was I? Yeah, so ice or some other mineral or something like that, so you'd place it inside the module, it would then use up that resource to create air, and then I kind of think there must be some way for the game to detect whether or not a space is enclosed. So for illustrative purposes, whilst I come in here to recharge, you know, this is an enclosed space because it's got, you know, blocks around it. I wouldn't say it's airtight because if I look hard enough I can see gaps, but surely there must be a way to code the game so that it can tell whether or not there's gaps. So I believe there's. So yeah, so some of the modules like the reactor, you know, they're not airtight because you can, you know, see through the ship. But really that just affects how you create ships. Perhaps, you know, you'd have to have an eye for creating them generally airtight with solid blocks everywhere, and so long as everything's airtight and, you know, the doors are shut. So let's pretend this was like an airtight room, then, you know, the air value would go up and you could like walk around the spaceship without needing your spacesuit, just for example. Also, if it opens, the air value decreases because, you know, the air's escaping, and so on and so forth. That's just how I envisioned air working in a game like this, and I'd be surprised if it was that much of a technical hurdle, considering I'm just trying to use existing mechanics to create a similar effect. But again, I didn't make this game. I don't even know what it's. I'm not even a game developer, so I don't pretend to know what goes on there. So if they say it's a bit tricky, then, you know, fair play. But that's how I would like to see it implemented anyway. And it makes sense. Just, you know, it'd make things like having doors just make sense. So it'd make things just like having doors make sense, because otherwise, what's the point in having doors? You know, you never close them because there's no reason to. Yeah, it adds a teeny bit of immersion perhaps, because, you know, hey, I'm opening and closing my doors. Let's pretend it's an airlock, but why don't we make it a real airlock? But yeah, this game's still in early access. It's still got a long way to go. So well, not a long way to go, but it's still got ways to go, and even after it's feature complete, they will then probably want to think about what they want to add to the game, and, you know, maybe air will be one of them. But yes, we're coming up to, well, 55 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap up there. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series. I'm done. It's quite interesting sort of playing this game in the survival mode as it's meant to be played, I suppose. It's a lot different to how I thought it was going to be. I think the players won't play with it the way the developers want them to play with it. It's interesting because the developers want people to sort of create their own weapons and ships and then go out and try and kill each other. But, you know, I mean, I'm on episode 3. I've been playing this game, well, I'd say like an hour an episode. I've been playing it for 3 hours. I barely have a small ship up and running. So that kind of PvP environment, you know, that's thinking long term, like really long term. So I don't know whether there'll be a sort of a more immediate way to get PvP going, or whether, you know, groups of players have to agree that, okay, for the next week we're gonna build stuff, and then on day 8 we will have a match with whatever we've managed to build. But only time will tell on that one. Again, follow me on Twitter at DigitalEccentric, eccentric spelt with an X instead of the usual ECC, for further updates on videos and stuff. I haven't really set into a regular pattern with these yet, but I'm kind of recording them every other day at the moment, trying to get into the habit of streaming a lot more. But once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.